doing? I am Kelsey Ale, nutritional therapist. I am a paleo chef and baker, and I'm also the author of the new cookbook, Paleo Sweets, which is full of yummy, paleo-friendly dessert recipes that are gluten-free, they are soy-free, dairy-free, and they are refined sugar-free. And that ties into the topic I want to talk to you guys about today. You're with me in my kitchen in Santa Monica, and I want to talk to you today about the truth about sugar. There's a lot of information out there, and I just want to give you guys a few key points, not only research but also personal experience, myself, my clients, that'll help you make more educated decisions about the sweeteners you choose. And we'll talk a little bit about, are natural sweeteners really a better option? So we'll dive right in, and the first thing I want to say is that any type of sweetener is going to have an impact on your insulin levels and your blood sugar levels. So at the end of the day, that's one of the questions that I get. A lot of people ask me if their naturally sweeteners, honey, coconut sugar are better for diabetics. Maybe you're diabetic, maybe a friend or a loved one is diabetic, and they're concerned about their insulin levels and that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, yes, natural sweeteners are going to have an impact on your insulin level and on your blood sugar level. However, it's different from refined sugar. My primary point I want to make is that refined sugar is just that. It is refined. And I want to tell you, yes, I do have this around my house, but let me tell you what I use it for. I use refined sugar for making body scrubs. Only use it on the outside, never take it on the inside. I normally try to avoid cane sugar. Even raw turbinado sugar is not ideal because these types of sugars, as their name states, have been refined, which means they are a part of a whole. When you're eating a natural whole food sweetener, they really live up to their name. Natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, I have date sugar here, I use coconut palm sugar in Paleo Sweets. All of these are more complex, and they're still intact with the nutrients that come with the natural sweeteners, because yes, all things in nature exist as a complex. There are a lot of pieces and parts that go together to make a food. Now, when we refine it and we separate out just the sugar, it simplifies it, right? So table sugar, it can be a much more simple sugar. It is a disaccharide, so we'll go into that. I don't want to get too technical for you guys. But table sugar, because it's refined, it doesn't have any fiber, it doesn't have any healthy fats, it has no vitamins and no minerals, and when it gets into your bloodstream, because it is relatively simple, it spikes your insulin higher faster. Now that can have a really big impact on systemic inflammation, which I think is one thing we're just now becoming aware of when it comes to consuming sugar. So again, all sugar has an impact on your insulin levels, but because this white sugar is refined, it spikes your blood sugar more extremely, more quickly, which creates a more pro-inflammatory effect. Now we're just getting information on this, so I think it's really important to consider if you do suffer from any disease, which pretty much all diseases are related to inflammation, you definitely need to start taking a look at the sugar in your diet. You know, brain fog, depression, heart disease, all of these can be related to refined sugar intake. So the difference between the natural sweetener and the refined sugar is the natural sweeteners exist, like I said, in a complex. There are so many more pieces that make up this food than make up this refined substance. So I have honey right here, for example, and I just want to show you guys. It's nice, it's creamy. Hey, so nice to see you guys there. Thanks for joining me, by the way. So honey, I think, is a really great example, and it's one that we hear a lot about in the news. Is honey better than refined sugar? And it's been broken down in a really simple way that I don't think looks at the whole picture, because the one thing that a lot of people address in these articles is that honey impacts your blood sugar level, which is true. But honey is slightly lower on the glycemic index because it contains nutrients. There's a little bit of fiber in there, there are healthy fats. There are two types of sugars that we commonly consume, but then there are approximately 25 other more complex sugars known as oligosaccharides that take your body a lot more work to burn down. This means that the honey gets into your system, the sugar gets into your system slower than it would if it were refined sugar. So this has less of an impact on your insulin response, plus the nutrients that it carries with it allow your body to digest and process the sugar without becoming depleted. So that's another key thing we want to look at. Whether it's honey you're looking at, maple syrup is a really great example. I use a lot of maple syrup in Paleo Sweets as well. All of these contain antioxidants and enzymes and vitamins and minerals, and refined sugar contains none of that. And that's really important to note because your body actually has to use minerals and nutrients and enzymes to digest the sugar. So when you're just eating refined sugar that has none of those good beneficial nutrients in it, you're only depleting your body. It's really stripping the stores that are already there that we're working to rebalance. If you have any sort of health condition, you definitely need to be aware that this, when you say it's like zero nutrient, like it's a negative food, there's no nutritional value to it other than sugar. Again, these other whole food sweeteners have beneficial compounds that not only support your body in digestion, but then they can give you a little bit of boost sometimes. I think honey is a really great source. Has a little bit of zinc, has a little bit of iron, has a little bit of selenium. Maple syrup has a lot of antioxidants. Date sugar, if you're going to use date sugar, it has a lot of fiber because date sugar is just a whole date that's been ground into a powder and you use it in a recipe like normal sugar. You'll also see in Paleo Sweets, in this cookbook, that I use a lot of coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is delicious, it has a really yummy caramel flavor, and it contains a type of fiber that feeds the good probiotics in your gut. So you are getting beneficial nutrients even though you do experience a slight raise in your blood sugar level. The other thing I want to point out, especially in Paleo Sweets, so you can grab your free copy of this cookbook. I'm going to go ahead and pin the link in the comments as soon as I get done talking to you guys about this. But you can grab your free copy, you just have to pay shipping, and then you get access to recipes not only that use natural sweeteners, so you can see how they're used in different recipes, but the recipes in Paleo Sweets combine the natural sweeteners with high fiber ingredients like coconut flour, high protein like eggs and almond flour, and healthy fats like coconut oil. So this also influences how your body takes up the sugar and uses it as energy. It reduces the spike in insulin and it makes the dessert a lot healthier. So I just want to be totally honest with you guys and let you know that I am a sugar addict. And I don't know if that's a thing that we ever really truly recover from once our taste buds have been set and our brain has been wired. Probably it takes a few years, maybe a decade, but I definitely am extremely sensitive to sugar. And I didn't realize it for about 26 years. And you might be going through the same experience of not understanding why you have mood swings, energy crashes, bloating, brain fog, but all of these can be symptoms of imbalanced blood sugar caused by high amounts of refined sugar in your diet. I noticed once I cut out refined sugar and started focusing only on these natural whole food sweeteners, my moods are more stable, I don't have the same sugar cravings, and I just feel better all around. You know, it would be a really crazy experience for me when I would go out, I would treat myself with my friends, we'd grab a cupcake, and I'd be super bummed out later, and I'd be like, why am I so bummed out? I just had an amazing cupcake and a great day with my girlfriends. And later on I realized that the pro-inflammatory effects of sugar can even influence your mood. They can make you feel depressed afterwards, and that's not good. We don't want that for anyone. As soon as I started transitioning to baking all of my own desserts, using whole food sweeteners, I started feeling way better. I can enjoy a cupcake and I can enjoy a cookie, and I'm not experiencing the negative side effects of refined sweeteners. So again, I do want to emphasize that all sweeteners are going to have an influence on your blood sugar levels and on your insulin level. So all sweeteners should be eaten in moderation, but that doesn't mean that you have to completely avoid desserts in general. Again, that's why I created Paleo Sweets. I want to give you guys your free copy of this. You just have to pay shipping. I'll include the link below after this video. But I make all my own desserts now. I make the birthday cakes and the cupcakes for my friends' birthday parties because I know I want to feel good. I want my friends and my family to feel good. And this is the best way that I know how to incorporate sweets and treats that are still healthy and balanced for the body. So I really hope you guys got some good information about this. Again, it's so important. These stories that we see on the news just aren't the whole story. You know, you have to look at it from a holistic perspective. So as a nutritional therapist, I don't only look at like, oh, calories or carbohydrates. I want to know what's happening in the rest of the system as a result of consuming this food. So at the end of the day, you definitely want to keep your refined sugar for your body scrubs because it makes you nice and soft, but never eat it. I really don't buy any sweets. I pretty much only buy the occasional chocolate bar that's naturally sweetened. Otherwise, I bake everything at home. from the recipes in Paleo Sweets. I'm super glad that we went ahead and printed this book because now I can bring it into my kitchen. I can leave my computer in the office and I can flip through and have one of these amazing treats. I definitely make cookies all the time. I am a cookie monster. And in the past, again, when I was eating refined sugar, I would eat cookies and I would feel really bummed out and gross, but now I can enjoy things like these delicious Paleo Oreos and feel good. I still feel energized, I still eat them in moderation, but you don't have to fall off track. Now, another thing I think is really interesting to consider about these sweeteners is how long we've been eating them. And if you're interested in the Paleolithic diet, or ancestral diet as some of us like to call it, we really like to consider how long a food has been available to us as human animals. And the paleo diet is based a lot on how, like, the foods that were available to us as our digestive tracts were forming. And the number one sweetener besides fresh fruit, which is the perfect thing to grab when you have a sweet craving, is honey. Honey has been around for thousands of years. There are cave paintings of people collecting honey. So we know this has always been around. It was a little bit more treacherous. We don't have to like battle a beehive to get to it these days, which whew, I'm glad, because I think it's a delicious natural sweetener. But honey has been in our diet. Maple syrup is naturally made. You tap it from a tree and you boil it, and that's about it. Dates, ground up dates. It's a whole fruit. You just grind it up. Palm sugar is just like maple syrup, but it comes from coconut trees. So all of these things have been in our diet. Our body knows what they are. Refined sugar really hasn't been a main player in our diet until about 100 years ago. And that's when doctors started noticing and making record of increased deaths because of diabetes and diseases like that. So it's interesting to consider that we are probably also better suited for eating whole foods, real natural sweeteners. And again, you can't always exchange them one for one in baked recipes, but if you grab your free copy of Paleo Sweets, click the link underneath this video. I'll pin it there as soon as I'm done chatting with you guys. All you have to do is pay shipping. It gives you an idea of how to start to incorporate natural sweeteners into making really awesome, yummy desserts. And there was one other point I was just about to talk to you guys about, and it totally slipped my mind, but hopefully it'll come back. So natural sweeteners. Oh, I was going to say, great, I have my monk fruit extract out here. So this is one that I want to show you guys. It's not as common as stevia, but it's just like stevia. It is like a non-calorie natural sugar substitute. So it's not an artificial sweetener. It's derived from a plant as well. It has been minimally processed, and this is what I like to use for daily use. I put this in my smoothies. You can put it in your coffee, put it in your tea. Occasionally have honey, but use this kind of stuff regularly. Use stevia, use monk fruit extract daily, and then incorporate sweeteners like honey, like maple syrup, maybe a few times a week. Definitely eat fruit to meet your sweet cravings, and avoid the refined sugar altogether. All right, so that was it. That was the point that I forgot. I'm really glad you guys joined me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in my kitchen. Again, I'm going to pin the link where you can grab Paleo Sweets, delicious, yummy, paleo-friendly, refined sugar-free recipes. Underneath the video, you can grab your free copy. You just pay shipping, and you can have this in your kitchen and learn how to start making delicious cheesecakes with natural sweeteners. This one is sweetened with a little bit of honey. And another thing that's great about these recipes and natural sweeteners is, like, this whole cheesecake only has half a cup of honey. So that's not that much when you break it down into servings. You only get a few teaspoons to a tablespoon per serving, and it tastes amazing, I promise. So grab your copy of Paleo Sweets. I'll see you guys again soon in my kitchen. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.